Hello, my name is Tucker Robertson, and this is my MIT805 assignment 4 presentation. I was part of group 2. Our topic was social media, and there were 4 members of our group, and so some of the subtopics that we had was Amy Gugelman had digital citizenship and safety on social media. Stacy Badke had the advantages and disadvantages of social media in middle and high school. I did the effect of social media on education, and Amy Golay looked at effectively implementing social media in elementary classrooms. And so each group member had their subtopic, and so I'm going to kind of go through what I learned from each group member. And Amy Gugelman taught me that digital citizenship doesn't have to be separate from curriculum. It's something that you can implement while you're still teaching your subject, your content area, and it's something that you can do basically over and over again every day and kind of reinforce and model for your students. And then teacher training and appropriate expectation is the first step. And I think this applies with all technology, not just social media. If the teachers aren't trained properly and you don't have the right expectations, then most of us would all agree that that's probably going to fail. But if the teachers have been trained on it, they know what they're supposed to use it for, then it can really benefit the teachers and the students as well. And then digital citizenship should be modeled and reinforced over and over again. Digital citizenship is not something that your students are going to pick up on the first time. It may take weeks, months, a whole year, multiple years, but it's something that can be reinforced and looked at every single time you use technology, you use social media, anything like that in your classroom. And that can really help your students because it becomes a habit at that point. Stacy Badke taught me that there are many more resources for disadvantages of social media than the advantages of it. And I would say that most everybody in our group would agree, and maybe even in the class as a whole, that when researching social media, it's really easy to find why you shouldn't use social media and what the dangers of social media are. It's not as easy to find, why you should use it and what the benefits are. Tell me that cyberbullying and sexting are major risks, and this is important to think about because anytime you're going to use social media in the classroom, especially, there are going to be risks, and these risks are, real life risks, and these are things that could potentially be life altering if something like that happens, and something like that happens in your room, it could really, affect middle, high school, even elementary school students. So that's something we have to be mindful of. And then with all that being said, the advantages do outweigh the disadvantages. So even though it's easier to find resources for disadvantages, those still don't outweigh the advantages of if you can effectively use social media in the classroom. I think that's important to keep in mind, and so you reminded us of that with all the negative out there, there's still a huge positive in it and a huge benefit for your students. Amy Golay taught me that social media is not just a middle and high school topic. This is something that elementary school students can use, and if you start them at that age, then that makes it that much easier on them in the future. And then social media shouldn't replace the physical world. While it's awesome and when it's used correctly, it can be great, it still doesn't take the place of, recess, lunch, face-to-face, group projects, things like that. Social media is part of our students' futures, and so kind of that, she had a quote in her paper that we're not doing our students any favor by keeping their future out of the classroom, and I love that because it's going to be part of their future, so we kind of need to address it and need to do something with it. And then implementing social media takes time and research. It's not just something that you can do on a whim. You have to, have a plan and a research and know what you're doing. I personally, in my research, found that social media affects students' mental health. Could be a negative effect, could be a positive effect, depending on what happens, but either way, it does have a huge effect on their mental health. And then social media can help teachers outside of the classroom. About 80% of teachers use Facebook, and about 80% use Facebook or Pinterest for like classroom ideas and things to do in their classroom. And then social media is not going anywhere. It's going to be a part of our lives. It's going to be a part of our student lives forever. And so kind of like we have to address it because it's going to be there. And so my 2 biggest takeaways from this assignment was that there's no perfect social media plan. Looking at all of my classmates, assignments they've turned in this group, even in other groups, everybody has great ideas. Everybody's mentioned things that did or didn't work. But basically, there's no perfect plan. It's whatever works best in your classroom, and it's kind of up to us as teachers to figure that out and master that. And then if it doesn't work, change and be adaptable. And lastly, you can't rush social media in the classroom. It's not something that's going to be easily done. There's a ton of stuff that goes into a ton of research and planning that we have to do on the front end to know the risk and how to avoid those risks, and to know the benefits of it and how we're going to use it to put our students in the best place to use it effectively. And so overall, I really enjoyed this assignment. I like the collaboration of it and reading all of my classmates' opinions and getting other views of it. It's really helped me a lot and really helped me in planning this. So thank you all for that.